Hello everyone, it is Mario here, and today I'm going to be showing you why Zoroark will be the best Pokemon in future coming. Let's start off with its ability. So its ability is Illusion. This Pokemon appears as the last Pokemon in the party until it takes direct damage. Now, this means, let's just say you have a Fake Out Mon, for example Incineroar, and you go like Fake Out, right? Or if you have Hariyama, and you want to go Fake Out. That means you can never consistently use Fake Out against any team with Zoroark, as it can always be the Ghost type. And let's just say it is. You go Fake Out into Zoroark, it's immune to it. They can just use X-Essentially and pretty much OHKO it, because especially if it's running things like Choice Specs, 120 special attack stat is nothing to be ashamed of. Then it also has a great move pool, and so for its offensive things, it gets Bitter Malice. Now, Bitter Malice is a new move it gets, and it lowers the attack stat by 1. If you're versing something, let's just say Landorus, which will be a Pokemon coming back, you can just spam Bitter Malice against it, and they won't be able to do anything. And not only that, also gets Will-O-Wisp. So you can just Will-O-Wisp any physical attacker, and they have to always be prepared for Will-O-Wisp to happen to them, as it can be any Pokemon at any time. And that's the thing with Zoroark. That's the best thing about it. It can be any Pokemon at any time. Let's just say you're Terra Fairy or Terra Ice, and you're versing a Landorus with Icy Wind. At all times, they have to be ready to be OHKO'd and have to play on from the game from there. It's silly. And not only that, it gets things like Hyper Voice, which is really good stab. Really good stab. It gets things like Shadow Ball, of course. It gets things like Night Daze. No, it doesn't get Night Daze. Okay. That's pretty interesting. But it gets so many good moves, like Sludge Bomb even. And Terra Blast is probably the main one, as they always have to be ready to Terra against your Terra type, which they will never even know if it is. And this is even better in Open Team Sheet, because they know what moves you have, they have to be even more scared and more worried about them. It also gets very good support moves, such as things like Taunt, things like Will-O-Wisp, which I've gone over, Bitter Malice, Icy Wind, Snarl it even gets. So if you want to run a Focus Sash set, you can go like Will-O-Wisp, Bitter Malice, Snarl, Taunt. It also gets things like Helping Hand. If you want to run it bulky, maybe you want to use Foul Play even. This is super good, and if you don't even know there's a support mon in the field, that can be very scary to face, because you could just lose all your momentum straight away. It can even be an alright rain setter, or even an alright snow setter. It could be, there's so many things you can use with it, even fake tears. If you want it, you can also use Choice Scarf. I wonder if it gets Trick. That would be disgusting if it does, if you can go Choice Scarf Trick. It does, oh no, because this means, let's just say, you're facing a Grimmsnarl. At any time, they could use Light Screen, and then you can just trick them, and then they insta-lose Grimmsnarl. They can never do anything with Grimmsnarl. And that's just super stupid. And especially, this is the next thing I'm going to go over, Paradox forms against and with Zoroark are broken. So, let's just say, for example, you have Iron Hands. Now, firstly, Zoroark is a hard counter to Iron Hands, especially with Will-O-Wisp, Bitter Malice. It is immune to both its Fake Out and its close combats, so this thing really does beat it. But let's just say you are Iron Hands, or you're not. Let's just say you're Iron Hands pretending to be a Zoroark. Iron Hands is weak to Flutter Mane, and Flutter Mane wants to go for Moonblast, but you're Choice Scarf, and you have, let's just say, Shadow Ball because you want more damage, or your Choice Specs. Let's just say something like that. Shadow Ball will always be able to pick up Flutter Mane, and you'll never be able to lose your Zoroark, which is extremely broken. So that means they always have to be ready to be OHKO'd by Zoroark. I just love that feeling. Every single Pokemon in the game has to be ready to just be OHKO'd by this. It's silly. And you can run any of these with Terra, just to go for every single matchup. You can use things like Focus Sash, Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, all those good stuff. You can even run Life Orb. If you really wanted, you could run it super duper bulky maybe. There's just so much you could do with this. That's why I think it's going to be the best. It's like an Incineroar, but you don't know that Incineroar is on the field. it's like a flutter main, but you don't know if the flutter main is on the field. You can never use fake out against it. You can never use close combat against it. Let's just say you have a Hydreigon on the field that doesn't like close combat. You can pretend it's Zoroark, and then they can never close combat it. And then that's the next thing I'm going to go over. They can never close combat anything, or fake out anything, or shadow ball anything for the rest of the game, unless they know you either do not have Zoroark on the field, or you do have Zoroark on the field. And you don't even have to bring Zoroark. Let's just say that you're weak to fake out. You don't even have to ever run cover cloak in your life again. But let's just say you're weak to fake out. You're weak to Iron Hands fake out. You're weak to like Urshifu stuff. They can never use Urshifu Iron Hands against you, because if Zoroark is in there, if you get Bill Mounts a few times or get Will-O-Wisped, like, or even tricked, like, you're just done. You won't be able to play the game. It also does so much, like Urshifu, which will be coming around in the same time as Zoroark. It has a pretty low special defense. This thing will probably be able to OHKO it, especially if it decides to go Terra Fairy, which they always have to be ready for. And that's the next thing. Zoroark can force any Terra type at any time. So let's just say you're Landorus. You might not even have Zoroark in the field. You could have anything. But Landorus either always has to switch out. You can never maybe even bring Landorus, or you have to Terra Steel it, because you don't know if they're just going to Icy Wind you. And if they do, you just lose the game. Like, I hope you got this far in the video. Like, Zoroark is too broken. It is way too broken. Oh wait, does it get Nasty Plot? Oh no, that's even worse. Like, it gets too many things. It's too powerful. Because you don't, let's just say you're not even in Open Team Sheet. You don't know if Zoroark is a offensive set, a Choice Spec set, Scarf set, a Focus Sash set, or a supportive set with like Ice Wind, Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, stuff like that. Like, you can't cover for that. And you don't even know if it's on the field, so you can't cover for that either. Zoroark, when it comes in the game, I hope it's not too bad. I hope they nerf this in, because if this in becomes like as broken as I think it's gonna become, VGC could be ruined forever. Like, actually, it could become too much of a mind game. Oh no. Well, I think that's gonna be the end of the video. You get the gist of it. It is a broken move pool. It is a really good speed stat, a really good special attack stat, with broken abilities, especially with the paradox forms. Like, oh my gosh. And it just, with Terrastalizing and Terra Blast, no mod is safe. No mod is safe against Zoroark. None of them. Alright. Well, I'll see you later, guys. Hope you have a good time. Goodbye. Subscribe, of course. Like the video. Yep. See ya.